A lot better in the second half. Look, it was always a tough game. It's always been a tough game here, and they never got away from us. We were always in the game, so we had a few opportunities, I thought, in the second half, but we just couldn't quite find that goal.
I'm very happy that we won and scored, and just come from injury, so I'm now just trying to come back to my level, and I was confident to hit the ball, and then it went in. Yeah.
You say coming back from injury, was it relief as well, an element of relief when you saw that go in the back of the net?
Yeah, very happy because I think I've hit that post like 3 times, I don't know, so very happy that I scored and we won. That's the most important.
In this moment I think it's important to go game by game, because anything can change. If you win, if you lose, it's important to control the emotion, and then at the end we see.
First half, it felt you were very dominant, a lot of possession, a lot of territory. Were you disappointed that you hadn't scored more than 1 goal in that first half?
It already happened many times this season that we are not able to score more goals and to kill the game. But second half, I think we drop a little bit. But overall, I think we defend quite well. We create some chances. So overall, I think we deserve to win the game.
I think that's a fair assessment. I mean, 1-0 in the end, but it should have been by more, Glenn.
Yeah, it could have been by more. Let's face it, first half they were so dominant, Chelsea. And going in at half-time, you'd be a little bit concerned that you hadn't put the game to bed. But because they were so dominant, you knew Everton were going to improve a little bit. It took 60 minutes. You could see in that interview David wasn't happy with the way they played today. Yeah, they had enough possession to have, gone 2 or 3 up. They never did. So in the end, the last 10 minutes, as the Chelsea fans in that stadium, they're very nervous.
Yeah.
They're biting their nails. It's like anything can happen when, 1-0 up is not enough. And they carved out a few chances, Everton, in the end. But no, it was a well-deserved result, but important result, because they had, other teams were going to go and play afterwards, and they had to go and get those 3 points to actually put themselves in the driving seat. And it's up to the other clubs then.
Yeah. It has been a season of 2 halves for Chelsea, Tim. Winning comprehensively in the first half. They're just about doing enough to stay in contention for the top 5. Does that matter at this stage of the season?
No, not at a stage. You need to get the job done and qualify for the Champions League. I think with the money they've spent, they would expect a minimum requirement is to finish in the Champions League spots, and they're in pole position to be able to do that. So it's really important just to keep the winning run together.
Yeah.
Last result against Neto's in injury time at Fulham was fantastic, and they built on that today. It was scruffy, and the goalkeeper had to pull out some decent saves. He'd come under criticism, Robert Sanchez, for a lot of the season, but today he stood up.
And we'll look at that in a moment. But let's go with the goal, the match-winning goal from Nicolas Jackson. It's first in 14, Glenn.
Yeah.
But did Everton not really help themselves?
They didn't help themselves. No, they'd split these centre-backs. He loses the ball here. He's got nowhere to go, no midfield player to play to. Jackson gets a lovely first touch. He can't believe the space he's got, actually. There's Beto. He's got to hold that ball up better. But as soon as that space and that Fernandes plays that ball forward, there's the 2 centre-backs split, waiting as if they've got possession. They haven't. And suddenly Jackson turns, and his first touch is excellent, He just makes it nice and easy for himself, because he spins on the ball, sets it beautifully, and cuts right across it and goes in that bottom corner. So it was a really good finish, but Everton would be kicking themselves. And we've spoke about it time and time again. For me, Pickford, get on the 6-yard box, he saves that.
I think if he's out higher, he narrows the angle, but we can't help thinking that it was O'Brien today and Branthwaite. They missed Tarkowski. They're always going to miss him. He's out for the season. They injured against Man City. He would have shut the gap, I'm sure of that, or he'd have made sure that the gap was closed by pulling others around him.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they're wide open. You're most vulnerable when you're in possession, and more so today. When Enzo wins that ball, he passes it to Jackson, takes it on his back foot. It's still a good finish. He has to do a lot.
Yeah. Now, you talked about Robert Sanchez a bit earlier.
Yeah.
Everton were much improved in the second half, and he did particularly well to keep them at bay, but in the first half, a couple of nervy moments.
I'm not sure why he has to come there. He's coming on an angle. Caicedo's he's goal side. He can deal with it. He runs straight into Mykolenko there. For me, he drops the ball first. He's not dropped the ball after Mykolenko has made contact with him. For me, that was a penalty, and it wasn't given.
Yeah, for me, a penalty as well, I've got to say, you know. This is a good opportunity, hell of a save from Sanchez, the good side. Now, that's, you know, when the ball's in that area there on the edge of the box, that's when you need to be deep in his goal to make the save, to buy a little bit of extra time. He does it perfectly well. And this one, realistically, I think it should have really be finished from O'Neill. He doesn't make good contact, but his body weight's going across to the left. He comes back by being hit into the ground, gives him that opportunity, that time, just to make the save. But it was a decent save and an important save at an important time in the game.
For Everton, it's 1 win in 9, a fair few draws in there, 5 in all.
Yeah.
Does it matter that kind of the season's petering out for them? I mean, does a manager really want to keep momentum going for the start of next season, or does it not work that way?
He does, but I think David Moyes has gone in there and there's an awful lot of players who are out of contract. So he wants to now, between now and the end of the season, and have a look at who he wants to keep and who he wants to move on. And the recruitment should be working hand in hand with the manager to see who they can bring in. You know, it's a new start, going to a fantastic new stadium, and they want new players. I think he's in the hands of the recruitment guy at the moment, really is, because it can go both ways. I think there's something like 16 players out of contract.
13, actually.
13 out of players out of contract. You know, the likes of Gay, who's in his start 11, Decore, you know, Calvert-Lewin. You know, he's got to make his mind up with these. And if he doesn't want to keep them or they don't want to stay, that recruitment guy is going to have to bring in the quality so they don't. Like when he went in, he's done a magnificent job. They were fighting for relegation. Yeah. All of a sudden, they're not. And the job is done as far as David's concerned. They're safe with this amount of games left. Brilliant job he's done.
I didn't see a load of individuals for Everton today actually saying to the manager, I want to play for you. I want to stay at the club. I'm in the contract. No way. They were on the beach first half.